Hi, good morning. Welcome to Help Matters. I'm Jackie,
And Coach Patrick.
and you're listening to us here on WAAW Shout 94.7 FM, the voice of the gospel truth.
This is another beautiful day the Lord has made.
And we're going to choose to rejoice and be glad in it, Coach.
That's right. Each and every day, just to have breath, just to be up vertical, as they say,
Oh, yeah.
meaning
Living and
upright.
moving and in having
That's
our
right.
being. We
Having
just
our being. So I'm
having lungs in our breath.
so grateful, grateful, grateful
Yes,
for that.
yes, yes, yes.
So we hope everybody is having a great day. This is a pre-recorded broadcast on today. We're going to be talking about good nutrition with Dr. Dan Jolich on this morning. We're going to go ahead and acknowledge our sponsors, our partners, our friends. Aiken Chiropractic, Dr. Dan. When your spine is aligned, your body is too. Aiken Chiropractic is located at 425 Lawn Street Northwest in Aiken, South Carolina. Their number is 803-641-9191, and their website is www.aikenchiropractic.com. And nobody turned down Mr. Keith Richardson. Get a free Medicare checkup and make sure you're in the right Medicare plan. His number is 803-281-6600. That number again is 803-281-6600. His email is keith at nobodyturndown.com, and his website is www.nobodyturndown.com. And Centerwell Senior Primary Care, helping seniors live healthier and happy lives. They're located at 3435 Wrightsboro Road, Augusta, Georgia. Their number is 706-841-9719. Their website is www.centerwell.com. And Graham's Vehicle Detailing, affordable mobile detailing with professional results every time. Their number is 706-830-4982, and their website is www.grahamsgvd.com. If you would like to be a sponsor, partner, or friend of the broadcast, you can call 706-592-8862. We would love for you to help us do what we do.
All
All
right.
right.
All right,
Awesome.
guys.
Awesome.
So we want to always start off with a moment of gratitude and just always find something to be grateful for every day. It doesn't matter whether it's big or small. Just find something to be grateful for because being grateful just serve as it gives so many health benefits emotionally, mentally, and physically. So always look for something to be grateful for.
Always. And we're
Always.
grateful for those that are having birthdays this month.
Yes, yes,
So happy birthday to our grandson, Jay Jeremiah Hudson. He'll be 9,
yes,
right? 9,
yes,
right? Yeah,
yes.
9
9.
years old. Man, where the time going?
Yes,
So
and
he'll
our
be 9 years
goddaughter
old.
Sarah.
Sarah Bunyan. Yeah.
Yes, she'll be, I don't know the age, but she's grown. But happy
Young lady.
birthday to them. And we had some March birthday. Our nephew, Donna Dennis in
Yeah, Donna.
Indiana. He's celebrating his birthday
Happy
this
birthday.
month. We had several other birthdays this month. So well, happy birthday to
Happy
you
birthday.
guys.
Yeah,
Happy
enjoy
birthday
your
and
birthday.
happy anniversary to
Right.
those who tied the knot, jumped the broom, like Coach said.
However you did it.
However
So
you
yeah,
did it.
yeah,
Happy
happy
birthday.
anniversary. Keep building family, keep becoming one. So again, happy birthday and happy anniversary to all of those that are celebrating those milestones on this month. All right, Jackie. So it's gonna be time for our Help Matters happenings. How about that?
Yes. So help matter happiness is when we set aside a moment to bring you a relevant topic that pertain to your health and well-being. All right, Coach?
All right. So this morning's Help Matters happening. I just want to let you know we just went into daylight saving time, so uh, everybody's recovering from that or getting used to that. But some researchers say that, sleep researchers say that we're talking about the potential for health and financial consequences that can come with giving up an hour of sleep and changing our rest patterns. The researchers said that heart attacks, strokes, traffic accidents, mood disturbances, higher risk of suicide are all related to sleep deprivation. So it's always important as we continue to ease up into this 1 hour that we had to go up, just kind of try and stick as close to your sleeping pattern as you could, so as you can, so that you can be alert, especially when you're on the road if you're already getting up early, and so that you can be safe and so that you can stay healthy. All right. This has
Yes.
been your Help Matters Happenings.
All right, guys. So just remember, guys, we did give the wellness tip already for the month of March.
March.
So those nutrition, because March is National Nutrition Month. So, but we're going to have our very own Dr. Dan Jolich is going to be joining us this morning, and he's going to be talking about good nutrition. What do that look like? What do good nutrition look like? So,
Yeah, and we kind of started it last weekend. So
yes, yes, we
yeah,
kind of jump
if you
started
didn't,
in. So he's going to bring his medical expertise and all of his wealth of knowledge to us and teaching us and giving us some knowledge on
yep, yep,
what do
yeah.
good nutrition look like.
What it look like?
Yes, what it look like. So, without further ado, we're going to bring on Dr. Dan Jolich of Faith in God.
How you guys doing?
Dr. Dan,
Dr.
good to
Dan,
see
good
you
morning.
again.
Good morning. So we've
Hey.
been talking about good nutrition. You know, of course,
Yeah.
March is National Nutrition Month. So we just want to just kind of have you to dive in and talk about some things. And of course, we know, Dr. Dan, there's a lot of changes when it comes
Yep.
to our food and buying food and being cautious now of everything that we're putting in our mouth or what we're drinking. So we want you to just kind of help us with that and help us make
Yeah.
better choices when it concerning our health.
Absolutely. So, we like talking nutrition. We've done it quite a few times in the past, and we're going to talk about some, I think, pretty good stuff today. Before I start about nutrition, I just wanted to say it's also my son's birthday this month. He
Well,
just
happy
turned
birthday.
21. Yeah, Lucas
Happy
21.
birthday.
Yeah,
Happy
it's a
birthday.
big, it's a big milestone when you turn 21. And so
Absolutely.
yeah, he's at Clemson. He'll be graduating next spring, so he's going to be a mechanical engineer. So he's doing
Oh,
really well.
excellent.
But yeah, that's him. And also regarding the daylight savings time, all of
Ooh,
that stuff is true. I am for keeping the time the same throughout the year. That's what I'm for. And most of the states actually passed legislation to keep the same time. They don't want to keep changing it, but I
Yeah.
believe the Congress needs to approve that. Do you know there are two states in our union that do not observe daylight savings time? They don't. The time is the same throughout the year. Do you know what two states are?
I could take a guess.
Go ahead.
Maybe Mississippi
Uh-uh. Good
Florida.
guess.
and
Good
Virginia.
guess, but no. So the states that don't change the clocks throughout the year, which is interesting, is Arizona and
Mm,
Hawaii. And Hawaii.
wow.
So those two already don't change clocks at all, but everybody else does, and a lot of these states don't want to do it anymore because it
Mhm.
makes everybody weird. It's
I
like all of a
tell you.
sudden, yeah, it changes
That
all
one
your
hour makes a difference. That
It,
1 hour makes a
yeah.
great difference. It really
Yeah.
does.
So
throw
we'll
you
see what
off a little
happens.
bit.
Some of the news I read said, "Is this the last time we're doing this?" But I don't know. They have to act in the Congress to do it because it's all or nothing. Like you can't have South Carolina and Georgia be like a 1 hour off. It's going to affect everybody's work. So everybody has to agree at the same time, and that's probably the hardest thing. But
Mhm.
maybe they will. So let's just see what happens. It will be nice to have more daylight time in the evening. That's what I would like.
Most definitely. Well,
But
when the season changes, the light, the amount of light we have in the summer, it changes anyway.
yeah,
So
it does. It does.
make
I
it a little.
mean, let's see what happens. But
Yeah.
as far as nutrition, so this is a nutrition month, like you said before, and I was going to talk some, specific things that we can have people actually use these ideas or use these facts. So, like we talked about before quite a few times, nutrition is very important if you want to live healthy and live long and have a good life habits and all that. So, we talk about those 5 factors of health, and one of those things that you should do daily is nutrition. So nutrition, you gotta watch what you eat and watch what you drink every single day. The other 4 factors, just a quick one, it was exercise, it was sleep, taking care of the nervous system, and having a positive mental attitude. Those are all of those things. But we don't have time to go into all of them. But we'll do nutrition, and also we don't have time to really talk very different topics in nutrition. I want to kind of
Yes.
just choose 1 or 2 topics. So I
Awesome.
wanted to talk about eggs and maybe some beef as far as what's good, what's not good, because there
Okay.
seems to be a lot of confusion about some of those products when you go buy it in the grocery store. So let's talk about eggs, because when you go to the store, you see there are different type of eggs over there, and they vary in price quite a bit.
Mhm.
So the cheapest ones are usually the brand of the store, and they have their own like no-name brand, whatever, and they are the cheapest ones. And then you have some little better ones. One of them is this. They talk about being a cage-free eggs. I want to mention what that is and how does that really affect us, and does it really matter? And then there's some other stuff, and then on top of it will be pasture raised or free grazing kind of eggs from free grazing chickens. So let's talk about what's the difference. Why is egg just an egg, or is there a difference in the nutrition of the egg? Well, eggs are very good foods to eat. Egg is considered a superfood. It has a lot of nutrients.
Mhm.
However, it does matter a lot what these chickens eat and how they're kept, when they're producing these eggs. So the cheapest eggs, if you were to buy the cheapest one, and then you crack it open at home, you'll see that the yolk is not really orange. It's more kind of yellow.
Mhm.
And so it doesn't have as much nutrients just looking at it. But it's actually true. So the regular cheapest eggs, those come from the chickens or hens. They're kept indoors, so they're called caged hens. And what's the difference here? Well, I did some research on this subject, and some of these egg producers have tens of thousands of these birds in one huge building, and they literally have no room in there. These chickens literally have room just to stand there by themselves. There's not
Wow.
much room to go anywhere. There's all other chickens right next to it. So they can literally just stand in one spot. That's it. That's all
Okay.
they do.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, they have horrible lives, and that's all they do. So the problem with those kind of chickens is they are primarily fed a formulated high protein diet, which is mixed mostly of corn and soybeans, and also byproducts of the corn production. So these kind of feeds are designed to maximize the egg production and the growth. They want chickens to grow as fast as they can and lay as many eggs as they can while they're capable, before they get rid of it. So that's what they do.
Mhm.
Now, not a really good diet. That's why there's not a lot of nutrition in those eggs. So sometimes they put supplements in the food, like they add some vitamins, amino acids, and then there's some other stuff they put in there. And so the problem with this thing, first of all, when these birds are standing in these enclosed spaces and they can't really move, they are frustrated, they are
Mhm.
nervous. That's not a good life. They have horrible life.
Mm.
So what happens is it's also in the humans. When we get excited, we get upset about something. What happens? We
Stress.
stress hormone. So we produce, and they do the same thing. So these birds produce too much cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone, and that cortisol goes in the eggs. So
Wow.
you're really eating cortisol from these chickens in those eggs, and that's why people are not healthy when they eat those kind of eggs. Number one. Number two, this diet that's comprised mostly of mix of corn and soybeans, okay? There's not much nutrients in that. That is just to fatten them up as fast as they can. So, it's not good for them, and there's not a lot of nutrition that comes out of there. So the good nutrition that what I call free grazing chickens have, these chickens are not high in those things. So they have a lot of omega-3 fatty acids in the free grazing eggs, vitamin E, vitamin A, beta carotene, which is why the yolks from those chickens are orange, not yellow.
Mhm.
Vitamin D. They have lower fat and cholesterol, and they also have antioxidants, which is really important, like lutein and some other stuff as well. So that's really what these guys have, and the other ones do not.
Wow.
So there's more to it. When you have all these chickens in such an enclosed space and they don't really move anywhere, a lot of them get sick. Okay, so what are
Mhm.
they doing? They're feeding them antibiotics. So
Mhm.
they give them antibiotics in their food as just a normal thing. And you and I know the antibiotics that the chickens have are different than they are for humans. So therefore, the USDA says it's okay because those antibiotics don't affect us. They're just for chickens. They're not for humans. But in reality, that's not really true. I mean, it's
Right.
true to some extent, but it's not true. It causes us inflammatory reactions in our tissue. So when you eat those kind of eggs over time, you get tissue inflammations and gut inflammations, and sometimes you got that leaky gut syndrome and some other stuff they talk about. And so, all of that can actually come from these eggs. They don't have a lot of nutrition, plus they feed them, antibiotics, plus they have elevated levels of cortisol. So, not the best
Man,
way to do it. Uh-huh.
that's a great point you just made. I mean, that's a powerful point because people like to use the phrase that we are what we eat, but we
Yeah.
really are what we eat. And you
Yes.
just kind of said that because of the things that they may give those chickens and what they're eating.
Yeah.
Whatever they eat and we eat them, then we are what we eat. I heard
Yeah.
that
Wow.
before,
Yeah.
so that's powerful.
So, it's not good, all that when
Right.
they give them extra supplements. So, well, we give them vitamins. Yeah, but those are commercially produced vitamins or amino acids. They come from a lab. That's not the same as when they're foraging and eating insects and bugs and whatever they eat. And then, it comes naturally. So nothing is the same. So, and here's really the difference. So when you're taking supplements, okay,
Hmm.
let's say even for us as humans, and somebody says, well, you should take supplements. You go to Walmart and buy a little thing of supplements like pills, and you take them like I don't know, one a day or whatever you want to do. So you take it all, and you read the label, and it says you got all these vitamins in there. Okay, that's great, but those are really commercially made. That's why it's so cheap. But the vitamins and minerals in nature, those are not pure molecules. Like, for instance, vitamin C is ascorbic acid, okay? So they put ascorbic acid in these things, same thing they give us to these chickens, and it comes from a commercial process, and it's 100% pure ascorbic acid. In nature, there's nothing pure. So vitamin C that you get from food lets you eat orange, and it has vitamin C. Much better than taking a vitamin C in the pill form
Right.
because it's a different form. And so the vitamin C you just ate from a natural source, the molecule of ascorbic acid, it's not by itself. It has other molecules attached to it. We call those impurities. But that's what allows our body to attach to the molecule and digest it. So if you've taken all these commercially made things, a lot of it doesn't get absorbed in us, goes right through it. So you're really not getting the proper form of those vitamins and minerals so you can actually have it. When I was in food science, I'm a food scientist or engineer of food technology. That was my degree before I became doctor of chiropractic. I worked in the field for a while. Anyway, the company I worked for was egg. They had it's an egg product company. So they had all egg farms and all that. And so what they did is in the past when they open, they break the eggs and they use the yolk and egg white to make a product. They would just get rid of the eggshells. They would just throw them away. But they got smarter over time, so they don't throw nothing away. They take the eggshells, they grind them up. I mean, this is all commercially made. They grind them up, they pulverize them, meaning they heat them on a high temperature and made them into this fine white powder. Looks like sand, very white powder. And that is a pure carbon, CaCO3, so calcium carbonate. So, calcium carbonate, they sell that powder to the vitamin supplement industry.
Mm.
So I wonder how much of
Wow.
that powder gets back into this egg feed that they
Right.
feed the chickens who lay the eggs, they produce it, and then they're feeding them back there. But the calcium carbonate is not a good form of calcium to be absorbed. So we as humans, okay, we don't have the enzyme to digest calcium carbonate. So if
Uh-huh.
you want,
Mm.
yeah, if you want to have calcium and you're thinking, okay, I need calcium. And by the way, most adults over the age of 40, when you read the medical studies, we are mostly deficient in calcium. Calcium is used in our body in so many ways. Just think about it. All your bones and your teeth need calcium.
Mhm.
Plus, it's also used for chemical processes inside of your body all the time as well. So calcium is used a lot in the body, and we are deficient in it chronically. We don't have enough calcium. So sometimes doctor will say, "Oh, you need more calcium, and our food is kind of depleted. So go ahead and take some supplements." You have to read the label and see what form of calcium is there in there. If it says calcium carbonate, you're getting zero out of that, nothing. You just don't know it because it's so fine that it goes right through your body. Like what's calcium carbonate? Is the chalk we had when we were kids. When I was a kid, I used a blackboard to write on it with a chalk. The white chalk was calcium carbonate. If you were to take a piece of that chalk and you swallow it, you will eventually just poop it out. I mean, nothing will happen because
Mhm.
we cannot digest that. So, why is it good to put in these supplements? Why is it good to feed the chickens? And we're
Yeah.
supposed to eat their eggs. Now, the eggs don't have a good form. We're not getting the stuff from those eggs. That's the whole point.
Wow.
Mhm.
So
That's
it's
good.
just it goes very deep. You got to kind of look at all the science and all that. And then you combine it with antibiotics to put in there, which is not healthy for us to keep eating that. And also, they put this. I mean, the birds are stressed out, so there's an elevated level of cortisol that also kind of finds its way in the eggs eventually. So, wow. So those eggs, you should avoid those eggs. It's just
Right.
because it's cheap, but in reality, those are not good.
Not
And
good.
so those are the reasons why they're not good. Now,
Right.
what are the better choices? Well, it depends how much money you want to spend and where do you live and how lucky you are. So I will tell you what's the best way to buy it, and it's not in the store. But here it is. The next level up would be Eggland's Best, or EB. Those are the cute little white eggs. They have like a little stamp, letters EB,
Right.
they
I know
stamp
what
on
you're
it.
talking about. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you don't have a lot of money and you don't want to spend a ton of money on eggs and you want to eat them, well, these are a little better than the plain ones, and they cost a little more, but not a lot more. And so, what are they? What are they so different? Well, they're also caged animals. They are also fed with antibiotics and corn and all this other stuff. But they do give them some more stuff in there, so they do have more omega-3 or maybe even omega-6 fatty acids and some beta carotene. So when you open those eggs, they look a little bit more orange with the yolk. So they're a little better. They're
Mhm.
not great, but they're a little better. So,
Little better. Mhm.
again, the chickens are kept enclosed and stressed out and all that, but they're a little bit better because they give them some other feed there. So, anyway, so that would be like a next step up. Then you're getting into an interesting situation. This is why I wanted to talk about eggs because there's so many different kinds now, and it's confusing, I think. So, the next one would be you see this nice packaging. And then the packaging says there's nice pictures on it, and it says cage-free eggs. Cage-free.
Mhm.
Sounds better because the other ones are caged.
Age.
So what does that mean? What does that really mean? These eggs are about the same as the other ones. They're really not much better. So here's the law on this thing. For the manufacturer, egg producer to say it's a cage-free egg, here's the law. So the birds are kept in these big houses. They're again cramped in there and all that stuff. But once a day, they have to open the door to the outside. So the chicken has a choice to walk outside. And guess how long the door stays open once a day if the chicken wants to go outside?
How
5 minutes.
long?
5 minutes.
Wow.
5 minutes a day. And do you think chickens really go outside? They don't. They can't walk. The chickens that we have today do not look like chickens that our grandparents or parents maybe had. Chickens in 1950s is a lot smaller and skinnier than it is chicken today. It was genetically bred. So the chickens today look totally different. They can't even walk. The legs are too weak. They have big chests because you want to have more chicken breasts once you kill them and put them into meat and all that stuff. So they don't even walk. And so all they do is it's a technicality. So they put this thing, oh, cage-free eggs, sounds good. They charge more money, but there's really no difference. I mean, they open the door for 5 minutes a day. How's that chicken going to go outside and peck around and eat insects and worms and stuff? No, they're not going to do it. So really, they still feed them the same crap as the
Right,
others.
right. And
So
and
if
that's
you,
and that's part of the problem, what they're feeding them to hurry up and
yeah,
produce
exactly.
these eggs.
So don't waste your money. All I'm saying is, if you see some nice packaging and it only says cage-free eggs and all that, it's really your choice, but honestly, there's not much of a difference.
Yeah.
Now, we get to the top part now, and there's another after that, but the one you can buy in the store. The top part would be the, it has to say free grazing chickens, they're free grazing. So that's what it has to say on there. But here's problems with that too. But that is the best one that you can buy in a store, and they really are the most expensive. Okay, they can be double or maybe even triple for the price of the eggs, but they
Oh,
are better. So what does that mean? Well, they keep them inside of these big houses at night, but at daytime they open the door and they let them out, and the chicken can go out, and those chickens can really graze on the grass and eat insects and all that stuff and worms or whatever they want to peck on. Now, that's better. But they still feed him stuff. They still give
mhm.
him some of these feeds because to just, I mean, you're not talking like 10 chickens. You're talking 50,000 chickens in a yard every
Mm.
day. So, how many of these things are going to be in the ground, like insects and worms and all that stuff, for all those chickens to eat? In other words, it's not enough for them to just peck. They have to give them extra feed. Otherwise, they'll be too skinny. They won't produce as many eggs. So that's better. But on
Mm.
the packaging, it doesn't tell you what else they feed them with. They just don't tell you. So you don't know what they're feeding them with. But they got
Wow.
to feed them something too. So, and to spice it up, they usually say antibiotic free and some other stuff free. So, it's better. It is better. Those chickens don't have as much cortisol levels. They're not as stressed out. So these are the best ones you can kind of buy in the store, but they still feed them something. And then there is another issue. So you're thinking about it when it's nice outside. How about the wintertime? How about when it's snow and ice outside? They
Mhm.
open the door, let the chickens out, but they can't feed on nothing. Everything is cold and ice. The ground is all solid. They can't eat anything like they normally can. So they have to give them something. They got to feed them something. So again, they're
Mm.
feeding them stuff. They don't tell you that. They don't tell you what they're feeding them, to keep them going. So these are the best ones in the store, but there's a lot of issues with those as well. So
There's some issues
choice
there.
is yours, as they say.
Wow.
Now, the best thing you can do as far as buying eggs, honestly, is go to a farmer's market. That's what you can do. That's why I say it depends where you live, depends what you
Okay.
have access to, and really that is the best. Find
Wow.
yourself, there are farmers markets everywhere. There's farmers markets in Augusta. There's probably more than one. There's one in Aiken. I just went to Columbia last Saturday. They had a big farmers market. So these local farmers will come, and some of them will sell eggs, and they
Right.
will sell out. You need to kind of be quick about it. But those eggs, you can ask him. Just tell him, like, hey, what do you feel with this thing? So last year, there was this lady in Aiken's Farmers Market. And so it's not year round, but when it is, it's good. So I went and asked her, like, well, what do you feed the hens? And she goes, feed them? What do you mean feed them? Like, they work for me. I don't feed them nothing. They work for me. Like, they're grazing all day long outside and they lay
That's
eggs.
what
I
you
don't
want
feed
to
them
hear.
nothing.
That's what
I'm
you
like,
want to hear. Yeah.
I want your eggs. I want those eggs.
Uh-huh.
So that is what you want. That's how it used to be. And
Yeah.
now it's all upside down because it's all commercial and all that stuff. So you got to be smarter than the average person if you want to live long. If you want to just, have all kinds of chronic diseases by the time you're 75 and later, well, then, go to fast food and drink Coke and all that stuff. But if you want to live long and have a healthier lifestyle and have less of those chronic diseases, then you really got to learn these things and think differently about your food. You gotta be smarter than the average person. And
Right.
here is why: you can Google this. The life expectancy varies per state. In South Carolina, I think Georgia is very similar, but I live in South Carolina. I looked up South Carolina. The life expectancy in our state here is 73. Okay, 73. That's really low. So in today's world, they expect most people in this state, don't live much past like 70 something, maybe 80, early 80s, and that's it. That's really low. If that's what you want to do, go ahead and do whatever. But, if you want to live longer and have a better lifestyle, 5 factors of health, you got to do those things. and then nutrition. You got to watch what you eat. You got to look for more natural things, and you have to do it. So just a quick little thing I wanted to say that the free grazing eggs, or eggs from the free grazing chickens, okay,
Mhm.
they have often twice or triple the amount of omega-3 fatty acids than the other ones. And the omega-3 fatty acids reduce our inflammation in our tissue. They have as much as 3 times as much vitamin E. They have, listen to this, up to 7 times more vitamin A and beta carotene, which also supports your eye health and your
Mhm.
immune function, your immune health. Vitamin D, up to 6 times higher. Okay,
Mhm.
lower. They have lots of lower fat and lower cholesterol. They have significantly less fat, cholesterol, and saturated fats, and they have antioxidants, which the other ones probably don't have at all. And so, all of that is just so they usually have 1/3 less cholesterol and 1/4 less saturated fat. This is incredible. I mean, you
It
look
is.
at those numbers,
It's crazy.
that's what we need to be eating. Why are you using the other one just because it's a few bucks cheaper? You know what? Spend money on good food, buy good stuff. Don't go cheap on what you put in your body. Your body will thank you as you get older.
That's it.
Maybe don't spend things. Don't go to coffee shops as much, or don't buy as much, chocolate, or don't go out to restaurants as much. Maybe don't take a huge vacation and go expensive. I went to my dentist the other day for cleaning. She was telling me how she goes to Disney, and now one ticket in Disney is like 200 bucks a person a day or
Oh,
something
man,
or more.
it's wild. Yeah, it
It's
is wild.
crazy.
I
Yeah.
I am glad I've done that when my kids were small, and if I never do it again, I'm fine with it.
Well, you got
I
to get grandkids, so you might have to do it again.
Yeah, we'll see. You'll see that. We'll see what happens.
Dr.
One of
Dan,
my kids, yeah,
Dr.
one of my
Dan,
kids moved to Europe, so maybe that will be less.
yeah. I want you to hold your thought, okay? Because this is really good. And I mean, there's a lot to unpack in what you've been talking about
Oh
those
yeah,
eggs and those chicken, because we have the big supermarkets now. So that pushes a lot of that on how they feed them to get them into the stores and things of that nature. But we're going to take a soft pause here just to
yeah.
recognize our sponsors again. And then we'll come. We'll come. We're not going to go anywhere. Then we'll come back to the interview. Okay. So you just
Okay,
stay right there with us. So
sure.
yeah, real quick, we just want to acknowledge our sponsors, our friends, those that help us to be able to be on the air with the listening audience on this morning. Aiken Chiropractic, Dr. Dan, when your spine is aligned, your body is too. Aiken Chiropractic is located at 425 Lawn Street Northwest in Aiken, South Carolina. Their number is 803-641-9191. Website is www.aikenchiropractic.com. And nobody turned down Mr. Keith Richardson. Get a free Medicare checkup and make sure you're in the right Medicare plan. His number is 803-281-6600. His website is www.nobodyturndown.com. And Centerwell Senior Primary Care, they're helping seniors live healthier and happier lives. They're located at 3435 Riceboro Road in Augusta, Georgia. Their number is 706-841-9719, and their website is www.centerwell.com. And Graham's Vehicle Detailing, making affordable mobile detailing with professional results. Their number is 706-830-4982, and their website is www.grahamsgvd.com. If you would like to be a sponsor, a partner, or friend of the broadcast, you can call 706-592-8862. All right, Dr. Dan, let's get back to this awesome subject. We're talking about eggs. I know you said you wanted to talk about beef, so go ahead. You got the floor. You got
Yeah, I feel that's related to the eggs because, when you buy, beef products or beef in general, there's also, a term grass-fed beef, And
Mhm.
so I wanted to touch up on that and what's so different, what's so important about that. Well, same thing. Just like they keep chickens in a tiny little space, a lot of the cows are kept the same way. They're kept
Mm.
indoors in one spot. So these cows never walk outside, they never do anything. They're just sitting there, and they're being fed. So they basically want to make them a full-grown cow as fast as possible. They fatten them up, so they can sell them and make the most money. But again, that's not good. That also creates problems. They also fed antibiotics and all that. So what you're looking for is something that says 100% grass-fed beef. it has to say 100% grass-fed beef, literally. They can say grass-fed beef, but
Mhm.
if it doesn't say 100% grass-fed beef, guess what? They can cheat. They can say, well, yeah, yeah,
Mm.
our cows go outside and graze on grass,
For about
but
5 minutes, right?
they also feed them other crap, so they're not there all the time. So 100% grass-fed beef is really what you're looking for. I mean, they could be cheating anyway. You don't really know unless you actually see the cow. But the
That's
point
true.
is, when it comes to labeling, that is the best you can do. And so, it doesn't have to be expensive. I was at Sam's Club in Aiken, and not long ago, a couple of weeks ago, and I saw these packages, and he caught my eye, and he said 100% grass-fed beef. And I looked at it. It didn't look all red. When the meat, it was a ground beef. When it looks all red, that meat doesn't look red like that. It's more pale. So that red stuff, that means they put all kinds of stuff, chemicals in there to make it look red. So it's not good.
Mm.
So it look pale, and that's what you want. And then I flip it over. I'm looking at the nutritional label. I'm looking at the ingredients, and here's what it says in the ingredients. Ingredients. It says beef.
Mm.
So and then he says other stuff. Nothing added, no supplements, no nothing, no antibiotics. No. So anyway, I can only believe what I read, so I would assume that's true. But maybe they cheat and put something in there. I don't know. But that is probably the best beef you can buy in the store, and it wasn't super expensive, and it was at Sam's Club, and I was amazed. So that's the one I will be buying. There's really nothing bad with beef per se. There was a study, I think I mentioned it maybe last episode we did. It was actually a Chinese study when they look at people that live over 100. And they found out they looked at what they're eating, and they were looking to see, if you're vegetarian and mostly vegetables versus if you also have meat in your diet, who's more likely to live longer. And the
Mm.
conclusion of this medical study was the meat eaters live longer.
Wow.
And they said it turns out as you age, your nutritional demands of your body change as well. And so, meat is actually should be part of your diet as long as it's good quality meat.
Right.
Because for the small size that you can eat for the meat, it's packed with minerals and vitamins. That 4 ounce say piece of meat that you eat once a day will have over 90 different minerals and vitamins. So it's actually
Mhm.
packed with stuff.
Right.
So for you to eat and get all that stuff from vegetables, you will have to eat a ton of it, and no
Yeah.
one's going to eat that much. So, that's why it's good. It's nutrient dense. So, what's in this 100%, grass fed beef? It is highly nutrient dense. It typically contains about, this is for 4 ounce serving size, 4 ounce. Typically contains about 200 to 300 calories, which
Mm.
isn't huge. It's got 20 to 25 grams of protein. All right, that ain't bad. It has high levels of omega-3 fatty acids. It has a lot of the linoleic acids. It's got vitamin E, beta carotene, and antioxidants. It's also rich in zinc, iron, selenium, and B vitamins.
Oh, that's
I
good
mean,
stuff.
and guess what? It has zero carbs, and zero sugar. And
Hmm.
let me tell you, sugar is what kills us. Sugar is
Mhm.
what, destroys the joints as we get older,
Yep.
and
Mm.
sugar
Yes.
is what clogs the arteries. It is not cholesterol. It is sugar. Okay. So you need to watch your intake of sugar. Okay. Listen, zero carbs and sugar in that meat. Okay. So you're doing good. That's part of that keto diet. Just you don't need a ton of it. 4 ounces a serving per day. So, and they said you're supposed to eat as much meat as it fits in the palm of your hand. So not the whole hand with the
Right.
hands, but
Right.
just the palm. And that's about 4 ounces. So if you eat that once a day or 2 ounces, twice a day, that's fine.
Right.
And it's got all this stuff. Some of the other key vitamins and minerals will be B12, niacin, B6, zinc, iron, and phosphorus. So there's a lot of health benefits to this if you eat the right quality. If
Mhm.
you eat the cheapest beef you can buy, that is not the same. Just like we
Mm.
talked about chickens, that's
Mhm.
the same thing with beef. Those
Yes.
that tissue doesn't have nutrients because there's nowhere for those nutrients to come from unless they're grazing outside. Same thing with chicken, same thing with eggs. It's the same idea. So,
Quality protein.
huh?
Yeah, quality protein. Aim for
Exactly.
quality protein.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And what do you think about this, Dr. Dan? You don't have to eat meat with every meal or every day.
I've been saying that a long time. I don't eat meat every day either, and I don't eat it every meal either. And I'm trying to eat twice a day.
Mhm.
Uh, doesn't
There you
mean you
go.
gotta eat 3 times a day. Back in the past, people only ate twice a day. And do you know when it started being like 3 meals a day kind of was the norm? You know when they started? It was the wars, the World War I,
Yes.
World War II. So when you look at the history in United States, to entice people to join the military, that was the ad. It was said, join the army, you get 3 squares a day.
Mhm.
That was their thing.
Three hot
Yeah,
sandwiches.
Oh, and
yeah,
it
because
became a norm, right? It
yeah,
just became the norm. Oh, 3 meals a day, breakfast,
yeah,
lunch, and dinner.
yeah.
Three
So to entice him to go and get killed possibly, hey, you got 3 meals a day. And so people did it, and then millions of GIs came back from the World War II, and they continued to eat the same way. Plus, the country was prosperous. We were like the most developed country in the world at the time. Everybody's, buying stuff from us and getting loans from us, and our economy was just booming. And that's when bad things started to happen after World War II because we didn't have enough food supply for everybody. The veterans came back, they start making families, having babies. That's why the baby boomer generation is the biggest generation. I mean, there were so many of them. All of a sudden, we needed all these food source that we couldn't do. So the USDA, FDA was pressured to allow food companies to start putting all this preservatives and all that other stuff, to keep the food so it doesn't spoil from where it gets produced until it gets distributed to the store. And so, they did that. And they knew very well that's not healthy, but they did that. So now I feel like we need to turn things around. Our grandparents or whoever, they made their own food. A lot of them had farms, had their own animals and all that. Then we started getting into processed stuff, and people thought that was great. And the rates of cancer, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, cardiac disease went through the roof. Okay, number one killer in United States right now is cardiovascular problems. So your heart,
Mm.
your blood vessels. Number one. And we talked about it last time. The cardiovascular diseases are preventable, and in a lot of cases, if it's started caught earlier, it's actually reversible. But you got to change your diet. You got
There
to
you go.
change your lifestyle. You have to do things that are healthy. That's why we talk about this stuff. So nutrition is a huge part. And a lot of stuff to talk about, but we only have so much time. So, I picked the eggs and the beef and the chicken, and if you go to fast food restaurants during a lunch break, you are doing disservice to your body, and you're going to end up having chronic diseases. So don't do that. I mean, go buy food that is natural, that's better, and whole foods. So what is a whole food? People say eat whole foods, but what is a whole food? Whole foods are one ingredient foods. Apple is an apple. Banana is a banana.
Right.
Chicken breast is chicken and beef is beef as long as they don't put other stuff in it. So you got
Mhm.
to read the label and you got to see what is in there. And yes, you can buy it, but you got to be careful about it. So, you got to read all this stuff. So many people waste time on, searching through or mindlessly looking through posts on Facebook or whatever else they do on social media. Why don't they just, hey, why don't I get educated? Why don't I learn something instead of just wasting my time? Let me go and see what the medical doctors and dietitians are actually saying. And then you read, then you educate yourself, and you make better choices in life. That's really all we want.
That's
So,
it.
don't give up. That's the thing. But
Mhm.
you got to change your life. So you got to drink mostly water. Like they say, you have to eat the calories, but you don't have to drink them. We got water. Water has
There
zero
you
calories.
go. There you
So
go.
that's most of the time. If you want some kind of a sweet, why don't you have a fruit? I just had a couple of mandarin oranges earlier. They're great. So get natural stuff. Eat natural things. Beef is fine as long as it's a high quality beef. and you got to read the label. I'm sorry, you got to see where that thing comes from. You got to read all that, and you should be willing to pay a little bit more money to get a better quality product. So choose wisely in your life. People buy this expensive, they say the average cost of vehicle in the United States is now over $50,000.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you don't
Wow.
need a $50,000 car. Maybe you can buy a $30,000 car that's maybe 1 year old or something. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And then spend money on your diet versus spending money on stuff you don't need. All of that is just brainwashing. They do all these commercials and all that stuff to kind of manipulate what we think that we want.
Yeah.
But we really don't need a lot of stuff that we have.
Yeah.
Other countries, and I'm from Europe, other countries, people are healthier than we are, and they spend a lot less money on healthcare than we do. So they save money on healthcare. The healthcare costs are nowhere near as high as ours, and yet they're healthier. So what
Right.
is the
Yes.
difference?
Yeah.
Well, there's
Yeah. Go ahead, Dr. Dan. I'm
yeah, I
sorry.
was gonna say there's more than one thing. So nutrition, obviously, it's really important. People where I'm from, they don't go to restaurants like we do here or fast food. They don't even have that many fast food restaurants anyway. But they go home. They eat stuff at home. Please make food at home. Eat stuff at home. It will
Yeah.
be better. You will be more happy with it, and it will be much better quality, and you will save money. It will be cheaper for you. So
Yeah.
why not do that? Learn how to cook. They're not difficult things. Anybody can go and grill some, meat and, do something, make a salad, make a soup. It's not difficult, we started doing more and more. We are, my wife and I pretty much eat at home. I mean, if I go on a trip somewhere and I want to go to a nice restaurant, I go there, I do that. But honestly, I rather eat at home. Okay, so eat at home, and that's how people do in other countries. They mostly eat at home. Number two, we drive cars everywhere. Why do we not live long in South Carolina? Well, there's different reasons, but another one is people are just not mobile enough. It gets hot here, it gets hot and all that, and humid. But go walk outside. We're parked. Go
Yes.
walk outside maybe first thing in the morning before it gets hot, or like in the evening before it gets super bad again. So do something, but do not sit at home. And you should measure how much are you walking. I have a little smart watch. I don't have it on right now. I took it off, but I do have it normally, and I record. I want to see how many steps I do a day. And if you want to know, the goal should be about 7,000 steps every day. If you do more than that, great. If you do less than that, see if you can do a little bit more. Now, anything's better than nothing, but
Right.
a person that does 3,000 steps a day versus one that does 10,000, the one that does 10,000 is going to live longer, have less chronic problems. Our bodies are designed to move. They're designed to
Amen.
be
Right.
in movement. So please don't sit around all day. You got to be moving. When I go somewhere, like I don't know, to a store or something, I park away from. I park as far away from the entrance as possible, for a couple of reasons. So I can actually walk and use that as an exercise. But I also don't want anybody digging my car, so I park away. And what's wrong with walking a little bit? Use that little time to exercise. Everybody here, if they can drive in the store with their car, they want to drive inside. Like, park outside. Change the way you think, and you'll be better for it. So exercise is very important. Sleep. I think a lot of people have problems sleeping.
That's
You
a
got
big
to
one.
figure that out. It's a big thing. You got to figure that out, because if you don't sleep, your body is not reproducing new cells properly. It's not replacing itself like it's supposed to, and your
Mm.
heart is gonna suffer. I read somewhere just recently that throughout your life, your heart is gonna beat over 1 billion times. Well, it has to slow down at some point. That's why we need a lot of sleep. And then you also heart is a muscle. You have to exercise and make it stronger. So you want to walk, you want to do something, ride a bicycle, whatever. You don't need to be jogging all the time. Do something, and
Right.
and and see if you can do more. So you got to do all that, and then take care of your nervous system, because it controls everything in the body. And also have a positive attitude about these things. Don't get all upset. Oh, now I got to do all this stuff. Well, think positive. Hey, at least I learned something. At least I know I can choose better eggs, or I can choose better beef, or I can choose better chicken. That kind of stuff was kind of my point. My point of this conversation is to make people think. We
Mhm.
can only touch up so much in the amount of time we have. So I'm kind of want people to start thinking, maybe I should research this. Maybe I should go on YouTube and watch videos from doctors
Yeah.
or just Google stuff. But you got to do your own due diligence. Don't just wait for other people to save you. You
Mhm.
have to be responsible for yourself and
That's
help
right.
yourself. That's it.
That's it.
So
That's it.
Absolutely right. We got a lot of multi-level marketing, MLM, and you know, uh, trends, and everything is being
yeah,
pushed by influencers now,
yeah,
and
yeah.
people just they listen to it, and they are not doctors, they are not
No,
dietitians, and they are going with it, and people just don't
yeah.
understand, and they
Well,
don't even know anything about you. They don't know no underlying condition you may have, but yet still you're being influenced by
yeah,
these influencers to take supplements, to eat this and
yeah.
eat that. So, yeah, bringing awareness, Dr. Dan, that's
That's
really
it.
good what you said about the egg. So people can
Makes
go
you
do
think.
their own
Most
research. And,
definitely.
yes,
So yeah,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
it's been great, Dr. Dan. We
yeah,
thank you as always for the wealth of knowledge that you bring. You touched a lot of great areas on beef and eggs and chicken and then you
yeah,
brought in the movement, how important that is. So we just appreciate that. And so we're gonna see you next month and we're gonna go ahead and give you some time to close it out, share whatever
yeah.
you want to share with our listening audience.
I was just gonna say quickly about those influencers. Follow the money. Are they getting paid? Who's paying them to say those things?
There
Okay.
you go.
Nobody's paying me to do this right now. Actually, nobody. I'm just doing this on my own accord. But the point is, follow the money. If somebody is telling you to do something and they're not a professional, and oh, this is the best thing there is, they're making money. Okay, so please be smarter than that. Don't want to be used. Be careful what you listen to. Listen to doctors. I subscribe to doctors on YouTube and watch their stuff. And a lot of these doctors don't sell you anything, but they have like 12 million subscribers, or that's how they make money. Is people listening like I am, and they have a lot of subscribers, so that's how they make money. But they don't sell you nothing. They just give you the data and they give you the information and why that's true. So you got to kind of make up your own mind, but be educated about it. So yeah, I was gonna say thank you for doing this. Hopefully people would get something out of this, and if you want to do take care of your nervous system, well, that's Aiken Chiropractic. We can
Right.
do that, and you can call us and make an appointment. And we always say the aikenchiropractic.com, or the phone number is 803-641-9191.
All
All
right,
right.
Dr.
So
Dan. Well,
Dr.
thank
Yeah,
Dan,
you.
you have a great rest of your day and we'll
yeah.
see you next time.
All right.
See you guys.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Great information as always. I tell you, with the supermarkets and the demand of getting food and things like that in the supermarkets and in
Right.
the fast food stores and restaurants, like Dr. Dan, he made some great points on how they feeding these chickens and cows and things like that so
Yes,
that they
how
can
they
get that
being
stuff
kept.
right.
And
So
you can ask that. Fortunately, we're able to been getting some eggs from the farm, and
mhm,
and I asked. I said, "What are you feeding? What are you
right.
feeding your eggs?" I literally go for is show me what you feed them, because sometimes the feed that they're feeding them is not
Mhm.
what's in there, because
That's right.
what he said, what you eat,
Yeah.
what
What you are, what you eat,
eat,
eat.
eat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You are what you
you
eat.
eat.
So when you eat that cow, whatever that cow
No,
is feeding, you
it's
eat.
going into you, and a lot of that stuff,
Yeah.
as a human, we can't break a lot of that stuff down, like the
Right. Like
calcium
the animals.
carbonate.
Right.
Yeah, so
Right.
all those things. So it's very important. And we're gonna get into those food labels next time, and just kind of break those food labels down, and ingredients down, so you'll know what these things are, so you can know to look at this, when you go to the grocery store, and be more aware of what you buy.
Most definitely. The most important thing is just start doing your research when it
Right,
comes to food. You can
right,
only go by what you see on the food. That's why you have to do your research and know what
right.
you're looking for when it comes to ingredients and things like that. But listen, we just thank you for tuning in on this morning. Like I said, this is a pre-recorded broadcast. Stay tuned for the Concerned Ministers Fellowship, which is coming up right after us on You Matter with Pastor Bush, and then Saturdays with Sean is coming on after You Matter at 10 a.m. And then midday motivations with Alicia G is coming on at 11 a.m. and Tony D will be with us at 6 p.m. with the New Artist Profile. And make sure you're tuning in to our weekly programs Monday through Friday. You have Pastor Smalls with Morning Praise Devotion at 10 a.m. Community Matters Monday at 11 a.m. And then Mary Harris has the Afternoon Praise Cafe at 12 p.m. Minister Arlene Edwards talking it up at 3 p.m. Reginald Forrest has Education Matters on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Pastor O'Neill with Transforming Lives Thursdays at 11 a.m. Sister Gwen Smalls and Pastor Small again on Fridays at 11 a.m. with Community Matters.
And we'd like to thank you for listening to Help Matters here on Shout 94.7 FM, the station of the gospel truth. And remember, we're here to help you to become a better you, to be the best you that you can be. Always remember, sow an act of kindness, because you never know when the act of kindness may be extended back to you. We like to leave you with 3 John 2, beloved, wish above all things that you may prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prosper. Remember, you matter and your help matters. We love you guys. See you next time.
Health is life. Your health matters. You matter. Health begins in the spirit and the mind. Take time to love you. Live well. Be well.
Yeah, let's go. Come on, get up. Cause you tune into the station for your morning motivation to get your education for your health and your spiritual need. Yeah, strong will to empower the people, to promote the peace, no positive attitudes, behavior, that's a lifelong dream. Yeah, health matters and we're here to help you become the better you, to be the best you, the best version you can be. Yeah, and it's time for this classic, fantastic food for your soul. Here's Jackie and Coach Patrick right here. Let's go.
Health matters to me.